everyone, and welcome back to Identity Insights by Indicio. I'm your host, Tim Spring, and today I'm joined by Indicio VP of Business Development, James Schulte, and he's here to discuss what exactly makes an SSI customer. Thank you again for joining me today, James. Would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi Tim. Always great to be here. Thanks for chatting with me. I'm James Schulte, as Tim mentioned, VP Business Development. I've been in the decentralized identity industry for a couple of years now. I think coming up on 4 or 5. What I do is I help customers, help organizations get the resources, materials, and help they need to be successful in their projects. I am based here in Provo, Utah, which is about 40 minutes south of Salt Lake City. I love it out here. Great place to be. Also happens to be a hub of decentralized identity experts. Great place to be.
All right, very cool. Always happy to have you here with us, James. In your own words, would you mind, just before we get started, telling us what is SSI? What do we mean when we say that term?
Yeah, so SSI, or self-sovereign identity, is the broader concept. What this applies to is the ability for an individual or an entity to have control over their own data. And this can be done through the use of decentralized networks, through decentralized identifiers or DIDs, and with the use of verifiable credentials. So SSI is kind of the umbrella term, and it's kind of a nuanced term, and there's been discussion around what to actually call it. But today it seems to be one of the leading terms to describe the technology. Some might call it self-determined identity or self-controlled identity, although that's more nuanced. But when you get down to, I guess, the nitty-gritty of it, there are underlying components that make self-sovereign identity possible. One of those being verifiable credentials, which is a specific type of digital credential that can be used within an SSI ecosystem to prove the identity or prove information in a secure and privacy-preserving way. So I hope that makes sense. SSI is kind of a wide-ranging term, and Indicio creates technology that enables that for people and businesses.
No, I think you summed it up well with, the idea of being able to put people back in control of their data, however you're kind of doing that. Right, obviously being the VP of Business Development, you're out there actively looking for more customers, more people to talk to about this technology. Would you mind telling me, what does the average customer look like? Is there anything that in particular that sets apart like someone that is interested in SSI from someone that might not see the value in it right now?
Mm-hmm. So it's obviously a very, I guess you could say, broad, diverse group from all sorts of industries who are looking to apply this. Like I said, broadly applicable technology. So you have customers coming from banking and finance, where this technology might be more apparent in its use. Then you have some coming from agriculture, from education, from manufacturing, from procurement, industries where the use cases maybe aren't immediately apparent, but upon looking into what this technology delivers, can very quickly see the value that it brings. So we have customers coming from organizations of various sizes from all over the world. They are typically, they could be product managers, they could be leaders of digital identity business arms within an organization, within research and development, within a government organization, and they are doing research on up and coming technologies. Or what we're seeing more and more in the last 2-3 years are enterprises who are looking to take technology out of the research phase, so to say, and take it into live production, get it into the hands of customers. So there's a big shift from customers looking to use it experimentally to, hey, we've proved it out, let's get it going. They're typically customers that are looking to solve a major pain point their organization has. They're looking to be innovative, wanting to implement something that will differentiate their organization or their product from that of their customers. They're typically watching the market, watching market signals, seeing the writing on the wall that this form of identity management or identity verification is quickly emerging as opposed to traditional identity management, and they see the value of what that brings compared to the models that they're currently using.
So, what does your approach look like to finding new customers? How do you know, right, who is more likely to be interested in someone else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it comes down to the organization and the industry and identifying the specific pain point that they have. I know that sounds so cliche, sounds like something out of every single business book, but that really is what it is. If there's not a burning problem, so to say, then there's no need for innovation or a solution. So identifying the industries where there is the big burning fire, so to say, or the big pain point, and then finding the right individuals to talk to and you know introducing myself, talking with them, providing them with materials to understand the technology and how it can be applied. Um, Oftentimes, organizations have already heard of this technology and are researching it and are looking to learn more. And so, when that approach is made, they say, "Oh yeah, let's talk. I have a lot of questions about that."
Hmm,
So, um, again, that's something that's I think been a big shift in the last 2 or 3 years. Is that it's decentralized identity, verifiable credentials, SSI, however you want to categorize it in a sense, has become, you could say, more of a mainstream topic, particularly those working in cybersecurity, identity management, the more traditional identity related positions within an enterprise or an organization. So there's at least a starting point there. So when they find out that there are readily available products, there's often significant interest in learning more and getting started.
absolutely. So you touched on it a little bit there where it is becoming more known in the market, right? The last 2 or 3 years. Uh, when you do start the conversation with someone, how aware of the technology are they? Are there, out there reading articles about it? Do they know kind of most of what you're going to tell them, or is it a kind of a learning conversation the first couple times?
Yeah, I'd say potential customers kind of fall into three different categories. You have those who have no idea what this technology is and are hearing about it for the first time, brand new. Second bucket, I would say, are those who have been kind of dabbling with it, who have been reading a little bit, have heard about it, have been exposed to some materials of what this technology is. And then you have the third bucket or third category of potential customers who really know their stuff. Maybe they've been involved in projects previously or currently involved. They have been working on the technology for some time and know the ins and outs. And they approach us because they recognize that they're missing something, whether it's a product or need some additional consultation to fill that gap.
Awesome. So when you're talking to these people, right, and they have these different levels of knowledge, are there any questions that come up pretty frequently, even between the groups?
Definitely. I would say one of the most common questions or common misconceptions is uh, surrounding what goes on the ledger itself or what goes onto the blockchain. And there's obviously natural concern like, oh, is private information going onto the blockchain? Is my name and address going to be on the blockchain and live there forever and be visible by everybody? And the answer is no, you do not want to do that in a decentralized identity ecosystem. And you don't have to. That's the beauty of verifiable credentials because the information is in the credential and not on the ledger. The ledger just acts as that cryptographic anchor to prove that what is in the credential itself comes from the original issuer. So I would say that's one of the big misconceptions. Obviously, there's pretty general questions like how are verifiable credentials, decentralized identity different than traditional identity management systems? What is the value in those as opposed to sticking with what we currently have? Is this new way of doing it compatible with older systems, with older identity management systems or ERP systems or whatever software platforms they're currently using? Another big question is what is the financial or economic model that can be used? And it's obviously a very broad question. There's a lot of different models that can be used, and it's unique to every situation. I'd say those are, the top 3 or 4 questions that we get.
All right, sounds good. So are there any projects or articles in the industry that you think are particularly interesting or that you've kind of been, like the ones to watch, right, in terms of use cases and kind of what people are doing with it?
Mhm. I'd say beyond the use cases that we've been seeing the last couple of months in travel and healthcare and finance, keeping an eye on what's going on over in Europe with the European Union Digital Identity Wallet, often called, I think, EUDI. I think it's an exciting thing. The European Union is looking into a European-wide digital identity wallet. So a wallet framework that makes it possible for every European citizen to control and manage the digital identity and their identity documents. So I think from an innovation standpoint, very very forward thinking and exciting to see it happen on such a large scale. Another recent article or thing to look at, I would check out the recent blog post from Trevor Butterworth here at Indicio, which was really exciting. Um, Essentially about how verifiable credentials intersect with AI agents. So the big question of, if you have an autonomous, maybe not autonomous, but if you have an AI agent acting on your behalf on the internet, um, what identity implications are there, what problems could arise, and how verifiable credentials can solve that. So definitely read it. It's really exciting with the explosion the explosion and chatter around AI in the past couple months.
Well, awesome. It looks like that is about our time for today. So thank you so much for joining me, James. If you're interested in verifiable credential technology or learning more about SSI, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and we'll continue to bring you some more educational content. If you have questions or specific topics that you'd like for us to cover, please go ahead and leave a comment below and we'll be sure to read and address them. Thanks again, James. If someone's interested in, potentially becoming an SSI customer themselves, or they just want to learn a bit more, where would you suggest they look?
I highly recommend checking out Indicio Academy. It's our set of trainings and workshops that we offer. It's a great way for individuals and organizations to have one-on-one time with the experts in the space, working through your specific use cases or doing deep dives into specific aspects of the technology. Highly recommend it. We provide these trainings for people and organizations around the world, and we have seen how it helps them really decrease the learning curve and get the products to market faster. So yeah, check that out.